My name is Avar, working on Nike's Innovation Kitchen, and have the honor of working with Kobe on his product.
My name is Matt Nurse, and I work in the Nike Sport Research Lab doing basketball research.
In regards to the performance design of the Kobe 5, it really, for us, it really starts with the last. And the last is the foot form that the shoe is ultimately built around. So we've keyed into a Kobe specific last that we've been using in these last couple products. But in regards to the Kobe 5, we made a few subtle changes to that last where we sculpted, radiused the heel a little bit more, and we radiused the arch of the last, both in an effort to get a little better one-to-one fit around the heel and also up through the arch. And then on the upper, this is essentially the upper, so it's utilizing Nike Flywire technology, but the construction is very similar, but the materials are different, where these are very thin TPU skins that kind of envelop the Flywire fibers, which allows this overall package to be half the thickness and half the weight of the like the Kobe 4 or the Hyperdunk. And we engineered these fibers in such a way on the lateral side to provide as much containment for the lateral forces, especially during cutting. And then we engineered them specifically on the medial side to really kind of pull up through the arch to really get that one-to-one arch fit. Because going to the low top, it was just really important to really get that one-to-one, almost glove-like fit. And the other aspect about these skins is they're just slightly more pliable than the original construction. So it's a little more of that conforming one that helps with the conforming one-to-one fit also. So from there we incorporated an external molded heel counter, which also takes the shape of that revised last that we were taking. So you just get that kind of one-to-one heel fit, which just helps keep the shoe onto the footbed. We used a lightweight Phylon with zoom in the heel, and in the forefoot we used a 15 millimeter zoom bag in the heel and an 8 millimeter zoom bag under the first med head or kind of the big toe, and we use that just to get that lower profile, more responsive cushioning. The overall heights, we were at, what were we? 18 and 10. So 18 in the heel and 10 in the forefoot. Then the outsole, as we've talked about, definite theme of the shoe is lightweight, so we try to take out as much weight as possible. So we took a traditional herringbone design, morphed that into this heart pattern, which reflects back to Kobe's inspiration. But that allowed us also, the aesthetic inspirational tie, but also allowed us to take out a little more material, ultimately reducing some of the weight. And then incorporated a glass fiber reinforced shank plate to get a little bit of that midfoot torsional rigidity and support up through the arch. And then it incorporated a decoupled heel design, which just allows the shoe to conform better to the ground, especially in some of the lateral medial cut maneuvers. So the shoe just works more in unison with the foot and the natural motion of the foot. So I always like to speak to design as good design as being a balance between science and art. And it starts with the science and the performance. And if you do that, and you do that well, and you do that from a pure, purposeful standpoint, more often than not, the form will follow the function. So that's ultimately, that's the general direction that the shoe will take, and that was certainly the case with the Kobe 5. But with that said, there's always the element of embellishing and amplifying overall kind of aesthetic or how the shoe looks like. what the shoe ends up finally looking like. So I have a quote that I say all the time from Kobe, and it says that he likes his product to be sleek, fast, and precise, because that's exactly how I play my game. So I always use that as kind of a baseline. So we'll allow the shoe to take the natural form from the performance that we're trying to build into it, but I'll always reference that quote. I think Kobe's product should always look fast. It should be aggressive. It should be a little edgy. It should be very precise. So those are, I think those attributes just kind of manifest itself into the shoe. And then, more specifically, we'll also, Kobe will give us a lot of points of inspiration. And in this case, with the Kobe 5, big point of inspiration was heart. And it was just that indomitable will to win and to be the best that you can. And that's something that's obviously very important to Kobe. So, we had a little fun with that, with the traction pattern on the bottom, and then also with the dot matrix, the Kobe code, where these characters actually come to mean heart.
We concern ourselves with two things primarily. One, performance, and two, injury prevention. So we certainly don't want to do any harm to the athlete. I think one of the things that this package allowed with the Flywire, sort of the way the midsole is sculpted, is that one-to-one fit. And there's two things that provide for containment. You need that one-to-one fit, which you could get in something like a sock, but you can't. A sock isn't going to stay on your foot when you cut. So the containment has to be engineered in a way that it's going to hold your foot and allow you to make those movements at sort of the highest intensity, and the shoe stays and moves with your foot. And that's what this sort of upper and the way the Flywire is laid out, sort of the conformance allows that to conform to the foot and stay with you, make those high performance cuts. We quantify these things, and you might put 2 to 3 times body weight shear force across the top of a shoe. And so for an athlete who's 200 pounds, that's 400 to 600 pounds of force coming in across the foot during the deceleration phase. And we can align these fibers so that they provide that strength and resist that motion as you slide off the foot. And it's not just sort of one side, it's a holistic sort of containment package that provides that support. From a cushioning standpoint, Eric talked about the Zoom bags. During a landing, you typically get 2 to 4 times your body weight of impact force under your forefoot when that forefoot initially makes contact. And about 30 milliseconds later, your heel will hit the ground, and it's anywhere from 4 to 10 times your body weight. And so the airbags are strategically located to align up with the anatomy to sort of cushion those bony elements either under the calcaneus, the heel bone under here, under the metatarsal heads, while still providing enough resiliency that you're able to sort of perform in them and get cushioning at the same time. I think the decoupled heel that Eric was talking about, a lot of runners like to talk about transition and the ride of a shoe. You do a lot of heel cuts or movements from an oblique angle at the heel during basketball, whether it's from the outside coming in or from the inside. And if the shoe is too stiff or it doesn't compress at that initial contact, it's going to create this lever arm, and your foot sort of comes in and it wants to snap over a little faster. So the goal is to allow that compression to occur while remaining stable, sort of slow that deceleration phase so that your foot can be securely on the ground and allows you to take off. And that's what decoupling the heel, actually siphoning some of the upper allows, is this conformance to occur during that initial ground contact.